Welcome. It's exciting to be back here again on Farmer's Diary. I'm your host, Iwe Sekunde. Last week, the media was awash with controversies about the rejection of Nigerian yams exported abroad. Some say the rejection of the yam is as a result of low-quality yams produced from Nigeria. Others blame the rejection on the long time it took to travel with the said Nigerian yams abroad. For us here on Farmer's Diary, our concern now, as always, is to highlight those challenges our farmers face, yet they continue to produce the food we eat to survive, and even give some room to politicians to score cheap goals like what the Minister of Agriculture, Dr. Audu Ogbe, aimed a few months ago while launching the commencement of the exports of Nigerian yams. The questions that come to mind with this news is, did the Minister of Agriculture not ask the relevant agencies responsible to check the quality of these yams to do so and report back to him before he rolled out the drums in celebration? Anyways, we can't continue to lament over spilt milk. As it is now, Nigerian yam stands rejected at the export market owing to low quality. The allegations our government is still investigating, while farmers, consumers and Nigerians are awaiting the verdict. It is usually easy for the policymakers and duty bearers to dish out information, especially seated in air-conditioned boardrooms. Decisions that are hitherto expected to affect or be implemented by the farmers, sometimes without even consulting these farmers. A typical example is the announcement made last week by some rice processors and farmers at a meeting with the Minister of Agriculture that by December, rice price will crash down from 18,000 naira to 6,000 naira because of the support they have received from the federal government so far.
To all Nigerians who have responded to Mr. President's call to return to the farms, I think a revolution is taking place. It may not be too obvious to some. And I think when we promise change, those who haven't seen it yet should look more closely, because philosophers say that nothing is more difficult to see than what is right before your eyes. In the interim, what you have done is a very serious step towards eliminating the need for smuggling. If the rice price here falls in the range of 13,000, 13,500 or thereabouts, then the smugglers' margin becomes too small. And we hope that with the measures we are going to take, we can end smuggling once for all of rice and many other things. I want to thank the maize farmers and say to you that what you have done is going to save us a lot of difficulties. Last year, up to about 2-3 months ago, the price of maize went so high to 130,000 per ton. And poultry farmers were groaning because most of the poultry farms almost folded up. Suddenly, the prices have crashed. I am told it's because of imports. Of course, maize has not been banned, but there's also a huge harvest of maize. Prices have crashed, and those who hoarded maize in warehouses are in serious trouble now. Because from 130, maize has fallen to about 85,000. So hoarding is not always a very profitable enterprise. It works sometimes, most of the time it fails. But for you, the rice farmers, we really are grateful to you. What we want to promise you is that we will help you ease the burden of rice farming. Because I have planted rice bread. I know it's very tough work. Bending down to cut the rice and beat on wood and drums and winnow and lose almost 20-30% of your grains. It's not very good work. So last year we procured 8,000 threshers. This year we're going to procure another 2,500 threshers. And we're bringing small reapers to distribute to your farmers. So they can cut the rice with a machine, thresh it with a machine, winnow it and put in the sack, and take away all that stress, which makes rice farming very difficult. I assure you, government will continue to procure and support rice farmers so that you can keep at the price you have agreed.
Contacted our farmers. We have concluded a tour quite 3, 4, 5 days ago. We agree on this price you mentioned to you, sir, and it is a no going back affair. We have agreed, our farmers agreed, and really it will happen. The price he quoted here, unless if there is any other change that we cannot contain it, but it's a price that we agreed, our farmers accepted. We went around the country, informed our farmers, and they have endorsed it. So in order not to waste our time here, the Honourable Minister just inform anybody that you want to inform about this effort that we made. It's going to be a success, it's going to be achievable, and as he said, in the next coming harvest period, you realize that whatever he said here is a reality. We hope not even to sell the paddy at that price he said. The bumper harvest we are expecting, Honourable Minister assured you that the price will come down drastically, even more than what he made mention.
Well, the assurances, as I said, we start with the Millers Association. We have agreed on a working relationship. And apart from that, we met with the Central Bank of Nigeria. They have agreed to work with us. In fact, we have signed some document yesterday on a pilot of 200,000 hectares of land so that we'll be able to produce more and more paddy for these millers to consume. Under the platform of my association, I have 12.2 million farmers. 90% of them are small farmers. And you have heard the minister saying they procured so many farm machinery and equipment for small and medium-scale farmers. So 90% of the beneficiaries of what is going to happen is these small farmers. Get ready for your information. That bag you buy at the cost of 13, 14, 15,000, you buy it not more than 6, 7,000 in the nearest future.
Quite assuring. Those were the views of the rice processors and farmers in Nigeria during a meeting with the Minister of Agriculture, telling us how the rice prices will crash down. If you are already excited and waiting to buy a 50 kg bag of rice at 6,000 naira come December, wait till you hear from the small-scale farmers who currently produce over 80% of the food we eat in Nigeria.
What we use for our farming is very expensive. The money we spend on it is more expensive than selling. The government wants the money to be lower than, but what we use is expensive. So there's no way we can just lower our price.
In 10 years to come now, maybe I cannot be able to farm a hectare of land again. So what will we do by then? So as we are growing, the government should try to train the youth ones so that they will take over from us.
No, the prices cannot come down because presently we are using plenty money. In fact, we will invest more in farming. That is why some of us, we don't plant much because of the money. So if you invest more money in planting, then you are telling, government is telling you to bring down the price. No.
Small-scale farmers, they're also sharing their experiences and telling us why we may not start jubilation over the promise that food prices will crash down soon. No wonder they refer to the big farmers as political farmers. Let's take a break, but when we return, we'll be talking more about Nigerian farm produce export experience as we hear that the Nigerian beans still stands banned in the European market. Welcome back. You're still watching Farmer's Diary. Remember, you can watch the entire package again on our online platform, www.ztonline.com. While there seemed to be so much worry over the rejection of Nigerian yams at the international market, do you know that since June 2015, the European Union, that is the EU, had banned export of Nigeria's dry beans on grounds of safety related to high chemical residual considered dangerous to human health? Sadly, the ban was extended by 3 years since June 2016. So, the yam saga is not the first Nigerian farm produce to be rejected at the foreign market. But after the ban of Nigerian beans, the federal government, through its Agriculture Minister Audu Ogbe, in August 2016, inaugurated a 26-member standing inter-ministerial technical committee to address the rejection of Nigeria's dry beans by the European Union. Let's hear from a major stakeholders details on the ban and efforts made so far.
It's because of the when you harvest, the pesticide we use, the chemicals we use in preservation, these are not in conformity with international standard. But our organization, Cowpea Association, in conjunction with Nigerian Standard Organization, we just even met this Thursday in Lagos at the Standard Organization's office, and all measures that will let us get into international standard have been taken. We have been able to put everything in the white and black, and we are going to now call our farmers and give them this code and guidelines in area of planting cowpea, and an area after planting, how do you harvest it that it will not affect the seed, then how will you package it, what are the conditions for packaging, and then for the exportation, how do you do it, all this, the pricing, all these have been put into a guideline which will soon be distributing to our farmers. And by next year, we believe that they will lift the ban because we will meet the standard.
Is there any hope that the ban on Nigerian beans can be lifted? Should Nigerian farmers even aim to export these beans, considering the wide market back home here? But is these beans even safe for Nigerians' consumptions too?
People want to export because they want to get their money back. If you sell it in the local market, sometimes you lose. But if you export it, you'll be able to get more money. And you want to have more capital to invest back into your farm. This area, government have to now help with the farmers, where you go and get a loan and they tell you 24%. How do you pay those loans back? That is why somebody like me, I've run away from Nigerian banks loan. I don't take loan. I try my best to invest whatever I get within my own limit, and so also other farmers. And that is why you can expand your farm. You will expand your farm if you are able to access a loan that is cheap, that you can pay back. But in a Nigerian bank, no Nigerian bank will give a farmer loan. Even the grant we are talking, we that are the big player, a bit middle player, we can't access it. I've never accessed any loan. They give these loans to either their stooge, their friends, and they took this loan, take the money and go and invest it outside, bank it in Swiss bank, and then get interest and take back the money. We are not yet facing the real farmers. And I urge Nigerian government that they must face the real farmers, and then they must bring down the interest in the loan they grant to farmers. The process cannot be rejected. But when you are exporting raw material, definitely they will reject it because you add one chemical or the other to preserve it. And those chemicals are injurious to human consumption. Therefore, what do we expect? Rejection. But if they encourage us to put up processing plants and be able to now export finished product, it will be of good to all of us. But governments are not reaching the real farmers. They only share the money in the boardrooms and the money end up in Switzerland, Swiss bank, American, going to Dubai to buy property with farmers' money, while the farmers like us are suffering. You can access it. I have a big river. I can put up hydro electricity here to help my farm. But am I encouraged? I'm not encouraged. Where do I access the fund to put a little dam here to be able to do irrigation farming for the community of Wago, for the community of Izon, for the community, because these are community that interlink with my farm. And they are also here we can do fishing here. But I will encourage, where are the trawlers for us to go into fishing here? There are a lot that we could gain from this water, apart from irrigation. You can go fishing, you can do anything. But until Nigerian farmers are encouraged, until the government see that we must go back to our communities and allow communities to own some of this processing plant, so that it will be joint venture between the community and the people.
Well, we will continue to urge us to engage in farming because all of us survive on food. If you have not started farming, but you have interest, here is an opportunity.
We are in my farm, as you have seen. Where I farm, you see that I grow maize, which is corn, and we also we grow yam, and then we also grow beans, which I'm the chairman of the association in Nigeria. The message I want to pass is that farming is lucrative. The only why in Nigeria today we said it's not lucrative is because we don't go into processing. And we have to now, the government have to encourage Nigerian youth to go into processing. If I harvest this corn now, only thing is for me to dry it and then sell it in the market. But if we have processing plants everywhere, where I can take this corn into, where it could be processed into semovita, into standard of exporting, into animal feeding, it will great, because it's a chain from farming to processing to packaging, then to export. Nigerian youth will have a chain of employment. We won't have them outside. If we are talking of the cowpea, which is beans, which Nigerian is known for as the major exporter, if we harvest it from the farm and we process it and we are able to now package it well and then export it, that way we will be able to get a gainful employment for Nigerian youth. But in a process where from the farm, you just either to be export, or from my farm, you just to sell it in the market, you have cut off those chain where employment could have been. So government should now come in, creating a feeder road to our farms, be able to help in bringing processing plant instead of buying machines or packing Nigerian money to go and dump in an outside country in billions. These billions can bring in processing plant. And we are not talking of elephant project. We are talking of small, what is suitable for each rural area. If you are talking of here now where we are in Wagu, Niger State here, you can see that my farm is on the confluence where you have River Gurara and you have River Kaduna. They meet in my farm. So this will have helped us to put up a processing plant here and also put up something that would create more employment for Nigeria. I think these are what we want Nigerian government to do. They should be able to help Nigerian youth in this area.
And on that encouraging note there from a farmer as well as a politician, we will end today's edition of Farmers Diary with a call on Nigerian government to pay closer attention to the plight of the small-scale farmers whose statistics has revealed that they produce food that feeds us.
I'm really surprised the way GMO discourse is going in Nigeria. I want to debunk the claim that every Nigerian who are opposed to GMOs, they are not gullible Nigerians. This perception must be corrected. We need a consensus building approach. And for the GMOs that are being introduced, they are not a given. Feed testing is already going on. The science itself is head suspect. It's based on uncertainties. And where there are uncertainties, the precautionary principle should apply. There is grave monumental danger involved in introducing GMOs into Nigeria.
The GMOs are safe, there's no doubt about it, because it's been proven safe for like 21 years now in other developed nations like the US, like Canada, like India, like Brazil, Argentina, we have South Africa, we have Sudan. They're all using the technology. There's no any health effects, and this is also endorsed. The safety of the technology has been endorsed by internationally recognized bodies.
The only thing we know is that it's obvious that the government is bent on bringing in genetically modified foods into the country, and it gives us great concern, because for a lot of things happening, there seems to be a lot of abuse in the agric sector, and these things are obvious as you go talking with farmers, you go talking with the real stakeholders, not portfolio farmers, the real farmers in the field. And one of the major challenges, or one of the major concerns I have observed, is that the companies who are bringing in these genetically modified foods are hiding behind our government to feed us food that we don't even know what it's all about. We are not, I mean, they're making it look as if we that are speaking out against GMOs, that we are fighting government. No, we're not fighting government. We're asking government under the platform of National Biosafety Management Agency to remain as a regulator. Let the companies who are selling these products come out and tell us how good their products are. Tell us about their products. Monsanto, for example, cannot come and hide behind my government to sell me what I don't want to eat.
I am advising the African government. We consider, we start from our policy. We start from down up to the what? The top. Not starting our policy from up to the down. Because those people who are sitting in the office, they don't know the challenge which we face, we farmers down there. So we are the one to decide what we can do. Why are they sitting in the office and they decide for us? I want the African government to see that they consider the farmers. Because we are the one feeding the nation, we are the one feeding them. If we make a strike for 1 week, they can die. No one can live without food, but you can live without money, you can live without a big car, we can live without a good house, but if you don't have food, you cannot live. So I'm telling our leaders, they must take agriculture as a first priority. And when they are budgeting for agriculture, they must budget for us, not budgeting for those fuel, allowances for ministers, allowances for what? Why didn't they budget for small-scale farmers? And another thing, now the climate change has come. I am telling Africa, they come out with irrigation system. They come out with policies to plant trees, not to cut trees, to leave the wetlands. We make the policy not to dig in the wetlands, not to cut the trees, to plant more trees, so that we can save our nation. Thank you.
A lot of discussions about the introduction of GMOs in Nigeria is ongoing. If you also wish to add your opinion on GMOs introduction to Nigeria and the African continent, like our Facebook page, Farmers Diary ZT, and then leave your comments on GMOs there, as we will open the discussion here next week on another edition of Farmers Diary. I'm Iwe Sekunde. Bye for now.